Right, I'm here at Ponte Luis 1, which is the second bridge, the one that I, at low water, allegedly can get underneath. And there's another level underneath the level that I'm on, so I mean if it was this high everybody would be able to get underneath it, wouldn't they? There's a catamaran just down there which you can see. I don't know whether he thought he could get under this bridge or not, but he's just sort of approached the bridge and then turned round and gone back, because that's a fair size, that catamaran. That mast will be about 5 or 6 or 7, possibly even a bit more meters too tall for him to get underneath the lower level of this bridge. Interesting actually, because as he turned round you could see that there is I don't know what the rate of flow of the river is, but it's going to be a couple of knots, maybe something like that, because it goes narrower here in this bit. It's maybe 2 to 3 knots or something. The metro train is the metro train's just gone past. Absolutely beautiful city. I don't know what's going on down here. I don't know whether people used to live there, or it looks like the remains of tiny little houses. There's some tiny little properties here. Tiny little, really narrow properties. I wonder how much they go for. A little one like that little turquoise one there, or that little yellow one. They're on about on at least 4 levels. But yeah, just give you a panorama. Let's walk along the bridge a bit more. I wonder where that catamaran will go now. There is a little marina down there. Well, past the next bridge, which is a really tall one, there's a little marina down there on the left hand side. Mostly you get the big sort of river cruiser type, like Viking river cruises and their ilk. Let's walk across the other side. So that's going upriver, and hopefully I will. You can see the flow increase here. As it gets narrower, it really widens out further up there, so the flow decreases quite significantly. Those are motorway bridges there, and they're easily tall enough for me to get underneath. I mean, the further in you go, the more beautiful and spectacular and scenic it is. Yeah, so hopefully I will be able to have a trip up there at some point. This is from the other side of Ponte Luis. You can see the really tall one, the first bridge, in the distance there. And then now you get a proper view of Ponte Luis. And obviously that second level there is the one that at low tide I can get underneath with due care, because if it rains a lot, if it's been raining loads and loads upstream, then the general level of the river rises. So you've got to be sort of mindful. Anyway, we'll see if I end up coming here. But yeah. What a lovely place. Right, I'm the other side of the first of the bridges on the River Douro. I've just walked all the way along the river. Actually, it's absolutely spectacular. And the streets are very, very steeply, because it's quite a steep valley, and you've got these lots and lots of old, tiny little labyrinthine streets. Really interesting. So looking over now, then, over in that direction, just around the corner there is the entrance to the Douro itself. I think in the middle of the shot now is that catamaran that motored up to the bridge and then turned around. It's now anchored over there, which I've seen on the charts is an anchorage there. That's the little marina. Again, that's a fairly small one, about 150 boats or something like that. There's some local, what looks like local moorings over there. So yeah, very, very picturesque. Obviously that bridge over there, I don't know what, maybe about 50 metres of clearance on that one, so little Rona will have no trouble whatsoever getting underneath that one. Yeah, I'm going to carry on walking around now. I think there's a big park just around there, just before you get to, I think the park is sort of in between what counts as Porto and what counts as Matosinhos. So yeah, keep walking, maybe have a look at the entrance, depending on how close I can get to it. Right, I'm at the entrance now to the Douro River. It might be a bit windy. You can just see the top of the two bridges there, and then a little sailboat, well I say little sailboat, about 30 feet or something. It's just come in. There's an engine on the back of that one, which is got switched on. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, easy entrance. I mean, you can just about, you can see it on the video, you can just about see, just give everything a big wide berth, basically. I don't know if that mark out there, I don't know if you can see it on the video. I'm not sure whether you have to, before you enter, have a look at the chart anyway, if I'm coming in here. And then moving around now, small private beach here. It isn't private, it's public. And then over there, that big tall white building thing, swirl, like a big swirl that you can see. Well, that basically is the, over the other side of that is Matosinhos. Sorry, no, over the other side of that is Leixões. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so just end this one then with a quick update on the Residencia situation. This week I attempted to get a NIF, Numero Fiscal, from the Loja do Cidadão, which is the citizen shop. A bit like the CAB, as I said before. So I went there, I got on the train to Porto, I got to the Loja do Cidadão, and there were about 5 different queues, I think, all people lining up behind bits of paper which said, presumably, queue here if you want X, Y or Z, and then queue here if you want A or B or C. And I couldn't see on any of the pieces of paper, it didn't say Numero Fiscal or Numero de Contribuinte, nothing like that. So I went to the security guard and I asked him. It's really fortunate actually that most people speak some English, because I don't speak any Portuguese apart from yes, no, please, thank you, good morning, good day, or whatever it is. So yeah, I asked him, I said, he said, not at the moment. They normally issue the Numero de Contribuinte there, but they are not providing that service at the moment. And I asked him if he knew when they would be providing this service, and he didn't know. He said no date has been set as far as he knew. So another failed attempt to get the numero de contribuent. I also went to see the. I also went to the Camera, which is the place where you actually go to get your residencia once you have all your documentation, just basically to see if it's possible to get in there, and if it is possible to get in there, basically if I could find out as much as I could about what I would need. And they've got a ticketing system there. You don't need an appointment. You go and you take a ticket. And so I took a ticket. I waited for about an hour, and I saw an extremely helpful guy who told me basically what I need to get 5-year temporary residency here. And I've got everything that I need apart from the numero de contribuent, and it is not possible to get the residency without the numero de contribuent. One thing that I wasn't sure of was whether or not the contract I have here at the marina would count as an address, and he assured me that that was fine. He also assured me that as far as finances are concerned, all I would need to do would be to make a statement that I am able to sustain myself financially. I wouldn't need to provide any bank statements, tell them how much money I've got or anything like that. So that's another reassurance, really. So yeah, I was sort of quite positive after I'd been to the Camera. So I thought, well, it was a week later than the last time that I actually had been to the Finanças to ask about the numero de contribuent. And I thought, well, I'll go back there and see if the situation has changed from the week before. And this time I was handed a piece of paper, all in Portuguese, and advised that I must appoint a lawyer and a Portuguese, and also have basically a Portuguese guarantor. So the whole thing has completely changed now, and they are trying to get people to go through a lawyer and to also have a Portuguese guarantor. So basically, if you leave Portugal owing loads of money, they are then liable. So the whole thing is just mushroomed out of all proportion. I don't know why it's done this. I have no idea why this is happening, and I go on the forums and I talk to a guy here who's on the Facebook expats in Portugal group, and he sort of tells me what's going on with that, because I'm not on Facebook. I'm not going to go on there just to join a group like that. But I mainly get my information from people off the YBW forums. Anyway, so this whole business about getting the numero de contribuent is just gone crazy, really. But apparently a couple of people have said that they've actually emailed they've emailed copies of their passport and copies of a bank statement which has got the UK address on, to this email address that just keeps replying to me saying you need to make an appointment. And they've actually been sent their numero de contribuent after they've emailed the copies of passport and bank statements. So that's what I've done. And I've done it in Portuguese as well. I used Google Translate, which I didn't know how useful that could be. So I basically said to them, I would like a numero de contribuent, please. I'm a UK citizen. I want to open bank accounts here. And can I please have a numero de contribuent? And I haven't had a reply yet. Which I think might be a slightly positive sign, because the first 2 emails that I sent, they replied pretty quickly saying, no, you've got to make an appointment, and you need to phone the number or log in. And so the fact that I haven't had a reply yet, well, it might hint that they're actually looking at it, and they might give me one on the basis of what I've sent anyway. So yeah. let's see what next week brings. But yeah, I'm a little bit further forward than I was before with the Residency, it would appear.